Sorry, I'm just so relaxed with all my good friends here. Hi. Hello. Welcome to Tavern Talk. My name is Michael Tyler Christados, and I am a self-professed wiggler. But yes, welcome back to the table. We have someone new at the table, Austin. He is joining us.
Hello.
For the umpteenth time. But Austin, you are one of the more nerdy people at this table. And
I am.
Yeah. Well, the reason so we've known each other for a bit, and people may know you as a photographer within the nightlife scene, the queer glitterati, or at least photographing the queer glitterati. Yeah. At such events like Mother Disco, or I don't know, where else I don't go out to much, so I don't know. I've never seen you. If I wasn't
being paid to be at these places, I wouldn't be at them either most of the time.
I hear you. But we do run into each other at Nasty Pig shoots.
We do.
You are a photo assistant there a lot of the time when I'm sitting and wearing little to no clothing.
I've done 27 Nasty Pig shoots.
That's amazing. Congratulations. What do you get when you do your 30th?
A box of jocks.
Oh, no matching socks and hats to go along with it.
That's for 40th and 50th.
That's right. No, some of my favorite things when I look forward to working with you on those, because I know at least I have one person to chat with about. So what video game are you playing? And where are you? Like we'll talk like endlessly about Persona or something like that.
That is true.
And then all the other models who are just gorgeous and hip and cool, and we're just like two 40-year-olds in the corner talking about old JRPGs.
I am not 40.
You know what? Everyone's 40 in my book.
That's fair. I've been spiritually 40 since I was 16.
Yeah, same. I've meant to be old and in the woods somewhere, and forgotten about. But no, you have been a photographer for like, what, 4 years now?
I've been full-time freelance as a photographer for It'll be exactly 3 years this month, actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I've been doing photography since 2018.
So I remember you did have a corporate job. You were working for Equity for a bit, right?
Yes, Actors Equity, the Actors Labor Union, not like private equity.
Yes.
I was working in entertainment labor, essentially.
Yeah, and then I remember, you made that switch sort of out of necessity, but also because you had the opportunity.
Yeah. So what had happened was I was working for Actors Equity Association for most of my 20s, and then the pandemic struck. And unsurprisingly, I was laid off from the theatrical labor union during the pandemic.
Tends to happen during global pandemics.
Yeah. And then, I had this wonderful year of collecting the enhanced unemployment, which I used to pay my bills and just do photography for like an entire year, almost every day.
Yeah.
The unemployment ran out very abruptly, and I was forced to get a job. The way I said that, I was forced to get a job, but no, I had to get a job really quickly, and I ended up working for a tech company for a year and a half. I was then laid off of said tech company when a new CEO took over in 2023,
as they're wont to do.
And as part of my layoff, my severance, I had to sign a non-disparagement clause, so I cannot talk bad about this company.
Well, we won't ask negative questions about them because they're lovely people, I'm sure.
They are one of the best. But when I was laid off, I was like, this is ridiculous. I've never been fired for cause. I've always been laid off because of other people's decisions. And I was frustrated. And that is what made me decide to at least try freelancing.
Yeah. And then what was your first like real gig that you kind of made that switch in your head that was just like, oh, this is real? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, I will say when I decided to go freelance, I had no plan.
Yeah. I mean,
it was born of frustration. I didn't have savings. I also was moving at the same time.
Oh, gosh.
The move was like, I knew about months in advance and had been planning to like move into my first solo 1-bedroom apartment. And so I moved into my first solo 1-bedroom apartment and then was struck with the realization that I had just decided to be a freelancer for the first time in my life. So poor planning. I don't advise doing it that way. Great motivator. Terrible for my anxiety.
Yeah.
I was having panic attacks like on a near daily basis for months.
Oof.
But then I kind of found that without having a 9-to-5 job, I had this time that was rapidly being filled with photo work.
Okay.
Like the work, it was like there was a sense that I had availability, and people started asking, and like I put it out there that I was a freelancer now, and people started calling on me and inquiring, and so I found the work sort of developing very quickly.
It was the say yes and figure it out later attitude.
Yeah. Again, not best for my anxiety, but I'm 3 years later. I'm paying I've always been able to pay my rent at the very least. Like I don't have a lot of money for other things, but I have a home.
That's, you know what? That's more than, most people can claim to. It's in the midst of tax season, so I may not have a home after this. No, but it's very inspiring to kind of to have watched you grow in this, because it was definitely one of the things where I've looked at you and a lot of my other friends who've jumped into this uncertainty, this new world, kind of saying like, this is what I want to do. There's going to be risks. There's going to be uncertainty, but I want to do this. And that's kind of this whole Goblin Guys thing has been that process for me, where I'm like, I'm just figuring it out as I go along. And I don't think that there's a prescribed right way to do these things, and it's only hindsight is 2020, so 3 years later you can obviously see like what you could have done differently, obviously.
Sure.
But you are where you are now because of all those decisions you made. Which is, I'm thankful, because we got to spend more time together in these semi-professional settings. But yeah, you've always been a bright spot at the Nasty Pic shoots for me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And and then because I was going to ask, like, out of all of the other, like, do you consider yourself more of a nightlife photographer, or is there like a classification, or just a photographer?
I think of myself as just a photographer, because I'm pretty versatile when it comes to photography.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can do studio work, I can do event work, and nightlife, theater, live music. Like these are all things I like doing. I have found that people have been defining me as a nightlife photographer. Even though I would say that's not where even a large chunk of my income comes from. But
you're just at these events.
I'm hired for these events. I will do maybe 1 or 2 a month, not even that many. But they're photos that people really respond to.
I think you have a really good eye at capturing these like very magical moments at these events that seem, quiet almost in this din of sound, this mass of bodies, where you can really capture like 1 or 2 guys like connecting. And I think that it's hard to capture that feeling, but I think you do a really good job at it from my perspective, for someone that doesn't go out very often myself.
Great. Well, thank you. The thing about nightlife photography is that the downsides of it are the pay is bad, the hours are bad.
Yeah.
The upshot is that there's very little expectation for what you're supposed to be doing.
You have more freedom.
Which gives me a lot of leeway to be like, I'm going to be more artistic with these, and not just have like shirtless hot guys posing next to each other, which is what a lot of nightlife photography is, because it's a very sellable form of photography. But I'm like, no, I'm going to like make interesting images and try to capture some artistry here. And I think there's a number of photographers in New York, especially in like the queer nightlife photography, that are all following this path of different coverage of these events, where it's not just sex and hot guys. It's like, and there's an artistry, there's inventiveness to it, and it's exciting to be part of.
Yeah. Well, speaking of taking pictures of sex and hot guys, you were the main photographer for our photo shoot for Goblin Guys.
I was.
That was really fun. We did it over 3 different sessions?
3 sessions, yeah.
And I was very appreciative and thankful for your flexibility and your professionalism, because I would show up to these things and I'm like, Austin, I don't know where anything is. And you're like, don't worry, I got it. And you just you slotted right in, and you knew exactly what to do.
Oh yeah, the shoots were so easy. Like we banged through them. It was also like everyone involved is very photogenic and very good on camera. And
well, we have to give a shout out to Antonio, who did take your pictures, because you're not that talented to be able to take your own picture from that.
I mean, I hate self-portraits, so I was happy to hand the camera over to him. But no, it was fun. Like it everything, it didn't feel like work. And it didn't feel like I was like doing free labor. It was like, no, I like everybody.
Yeah.
And we're doing something that's fun and silly and without a lot of like stakes involved.
Yeah, and I mean, like if for those of you who've been following us, I use all of the images in a lot of our media for like the YouTube thumbnails and kind of the podcast thumbnails and stuff like that. But it's just you really, I had a very simple vision, but you were able to kind of pull that out of all of our players, all of our.
Oh, and the studio we had only had 2 lights, so I was just like, I'm gonna make it work.
Do you have a favorite photo from that?
I'm gonna be biased and say myself.
The one Antonio took of you?
Yeah, because we busted out the fan, so my scarf is billowing.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing the shoulder pauldron, and I just I'm like.
If I remember correctly, producer Nathaniel was on the floor with the fan and doing fan work.
Yeah, doing fan work always.
Yeah, I think towards the end of the shoot, we kind of got we were like, let's get creative, and we were thinking in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, and I was the last one to go.
Yeah, you
obviously. So I like mine the best, but everyone's fun. I was everyone had such great sense of motion. There were so many leaps and kicks and using props and everyone just got into it.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone was dull. Everyone was fun and everyone was happy to be there.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to at least encourage, and I'm glad that came about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough to coordinate all those queer men into one space and then make them feel sexy on camera. But yeah, I appreciate the help that you
It's a shame that our group is so not photogenic.
Yes, God
so
forbid.
Unattractive.
A bunch of uggos. But with the nerdiness part of it is how long have you been a nerd? But no, what in terms of playing D&D, I know that you and Jonah and Teo are in a campaign outside of this currently, right? Or
not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
But we had been.
That's right.
Yeah.
And how long have you been playing D&D?
I've been playing. I first played D&D in 2020.
Okay, that was your first foray.
Yeah,
into the
first
medium.
foray. I'd of course been aware of it because it part of the pop culture zeitgeist, but that was the first time I ever sat down and played an actual campaign. And going into it, I really didn't know. I couldn't envision it. I was like, I understand turn-based combat. I understand role-playing. I don't understand what happens in between the combat and everything else.
You're like, I just talk to people?
Yeah. But then when I was playing, I was like, oh, I've been playing variations of D&D as video games.
Yes.
Like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Very much that.
Is D&D. And even does the dice rolls. And I just never made that connection. Or even Pokemon or Final Fantasy, turn-based RPGs are D&D essentially, watered down. So when I actually sat down and played, I was like, oh, I've been playing this game for 20 years and I just wasn't aware of it.
What was your first character?
He was a rogue swashbuckler.
Love it.
Forget his name. It was not a well-conceived character. It was I was just I'm playing a rogue. I always play rogues. But it was fun. It was Jonah and Teo were part of it.
That's right.
And which is great because they're both seasoned players and 2 of my very closest friends. And some other folks were there as well. And it just was so much fun. And it was during the pandemic when we needed human contact.
Yeah.
Even via Zoom. I think we played on Microsoft Teams or something awful.
I had a digital game myself during the height of the pandemic, and it was nice to have the consistency.
Yeah, and D&D does lend itself to those platforms better than other things.
Yeah, I would say. I think you have to be okay. I'm obviously more partial to in-person playing.
Yeah, of course.
But it definitely, as long as you can kind of get beyond the barrier of that screen and being able to role play, connect with people.
Yeah.
Then find your not so local DM and play online with someone. There's a bevy of connections, but if you have friends, I would say just connect with them, even if they're living in California.
If you have friends,
but you kind of need that. There are some play Dungeons and Dragons by yourself games that I've seen, and then I looked into them, and it's just AI.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
it's sad.
No.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But yeah, connect with people. It's an opportunity to get to know your players better, your friends better, like I want to do. But I really want to understand 10 and your thought process behind your character in this, because he is our only Warforged.
Yeah.
And what made you think to create a robot paladin?
I wish I could give you like, I think you know by now that I am not a big backstory player.
Yeah, it's you and Antonio gave me like zero backstory.
I gave you like a few bullet points, which you've then like expanded into this cosmic storyline that affects every character. So I'm like, you're welcome. But
Thank you.
As a role player, I like having just a few bullet points so I know how the character behaves and reacts. And then I'm very much like, throw things at me.
Yeah. You react very well to these processes or these points that I try and throw at you, the processes in my own head.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that you're willing to run with it and not question it.
Yeah, no, I used to do improv, so like that whole
really?
like, yeah, I did UC classes at UCB for a while. Like, God, it was 2012 when I stopped, which was 14 years ago.
After the incident?
After the incident. The incident was that UCB got too expensive.
Yeah.
But like I'm very much a yes and, where like I will just build off what you give me. I'm not going to pull you aside and be like, don't do that.
Yeah, I think, and there's a inherent like improvness for D&D that one has to be okay with.
And I'm also not precious about my characters. Like I just sent in the questionnaire for the character art.
Yeah.
And I think the last thing I wrote was like, I'm open to artistic interpretation. I don't really.
Yeah, it's that idea of, I think that you have an amorphous idea of who your character is and what they look like and how they act, but it's really just who they are is how you act in the moment, not necessarily like your plan for them in the future.
No. We talked about this. It's like 10. It's not that he doesn't believe in gods, because in this universe, gods are like undeniably real. It's that he just worship. I think it's more like the act of worship and ritual is lost on him as a artificial life form, as a synthetic life form with no history or background. He doesn't understand worship and ritual.
Yeah.
So
I there's like a subclass, like a custom made subclass. I saw it. I don't know if it's for a cleric or for a paladin, but it's the worship of the people.
Yes.
And that's kind of where I prescribe 10 to.
100%. Yeah. And like 10 is very much a, how do I help people? How do I bring equality and justice? How do I right these wrongs? How do I lift people up?
So is 10 a communist?
That's sort of been like the low key track, is that he's becoming more and more like the rules are unjust.
Yes. No, it's been funny because he's the most evident of when you look. I never prescribed to the alignment chart as like a hard thing, but when I said hard thing, I think we can all pause there and think about what I'm talking about. When I think of that, it's just like your character's the only one that I saw starting in the lawful good.
Yeah.
Like hard in the lawful good square. And I made it a point to say like, okay, can I challenge him to move left or down or even diagonal if I could?
Yeah.
Just like, where do I move this man, this being to start questioning? Because I think the poles are always so extreme that I'm like, no one lives in one square.
Yeah.
And this robot, he would live this experience that could potentially move him outside. But I would love to hear what your theories are based on, I'm not going to confirm or deny anything, but what your theories are of 10 so far in the campaign, what his backstory might be, what I have planned for him.
Well, you really took his name and ran with it.
Yes.
And have created at least 8 other Warforged who are numbered, and a skull named 1. So I'm just going to assume that said skull is either the creator or original pilot or something, has some sort of direct creator connection to 10 and the other Warforged that they've encountered. don't know what race they are, don't know anything about them. That skull does not like me.
No.
So
we're talking about Victor's skull that he can carry around.
Victor's character, not Victor Riccio himself.
Yeah. Well,
Victor also has a skull.
But we don't talk
carries
about
around.
that.
No.
He doesn't want us to know. We'll bring him on to hash that out at a later tavern talk. But yeah, I'm curious. I just wanted to see how close you were to the truth. But
I have no idea how close I am, but I've been really enjoying finding it out.
Good.
And like, because like we did encounter another Warforged in the Baldur's Gate table.
Yes, you did.
And we barely interacted with it at all.
You killed it.
We killed it. It was like, I think maybe the first casualty in the final battle.
Yeah, you made it explode and tore a hole in reality. So.
I didn't do that.
Someone did it. We're not gonna blame.
It may have been Teo, but either way, like we just never engaged with it. It's like I always love in campaigns where the DM like tees something up and the party just goes nope.
It's interesting. It's something I've had to wrestle with in a lot of the tables is the idea that I can say it out loud, but saying it and feeling it are two different things. It's not just my story.
Yeah.
And I can provide all the Barbie dolls to play with, but if you're only going to play with one and not the other five.
Sometimes you play with the box.
Exactly. And I have to be okay with that. But I think I've reasoned in my head where I'm like, oh, if this is going to be a living world, there are going to be characters that you just don't interact with, that exist.
Yeah.
But you just don't have time or energy or the ability to.
And like you may devise this beautiful NPC, and then we're going to be like, we like the shopkeeper who you don't have a name for.
It's always going to be someone with a bad Southern accent or a bad Cockney accent.
Yep.
But
the party's just going to glom onto them and make them the team mascot.
Yeah. But, I'll figure that out as I go along. That's the best. So rapid fire question, top 5 fictional robots, go.
Fictional robots. C-3PO.
C-3PO. The biggest lesbian gay man.
I was obsessed with C-3PO as a kid.
Do you like him with or without the red arm?
It's not red, it's silver.
No, because doesn't he get a red arm in the
his leg is silver.
Yeah.
I think the classic gold.
Yeah.
So C-3PO, R2-D2. Now I'm just like blanking on all robots. Oh, Lost in Space, the robot from Lost in Space, classic.
Yeah. Danger Will Robinson.
Loved him. God, what other? The Terminator.
I love the first Terminator. I think the second one's a great action movie.
Of course, yeah.
But there's this like biblical story of this waitress that is going to birth the savior of humanity. Mm-hmm. And it's not about the savior of humanity. It's about a waitress trying to survive. And it's a horror movie, but also an adventure story. And Sarah Connor will save us all eventually. AI is going to kill us, but Sarah Connor is out there and she's going to save us.
And then final, do you remember the movie? Short Circuit, Johnny Five.
Yes.
I was obsessed with that movie as a child. I don't know if it holds up at all today. Probably not, because there's like some racial issues with the casting.
Yeah.
But Johnny Five, great robot.
So out of all of those 5, which one is 10 most like?
Oh, that's a great question.
Or is he's more like a different
for 10, one of my reference points for 10 was the Iron Giant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a cutie. I like the Iron Giant.
Yeah. Like also mysterious origins. Has the capacity for violence, but is learning his way in the world.
Yeah, and will eventually get rocket booster boots to fly into the stratosphere. Maybe.
And blow
we'll
up.
see.
Yeah.
Blow up. So we're going to take the D20 over here.
Okay.
Producer Nathaniel's going to get his camera, and I will, once you roll. All right, when you're ready.
What do I roll?
Just you roll anywhere you'd like.
And I don't want to break the table.
Don't break the table. That is a 10.
10. That's good.
That is good. This is serendipitous. So if you had a signature spell or ability in real life, what would it be?
Like from D&D?
Yeah, let's say D&D, but if there's something that's speaking to you from any sort of fantasy or fictional media.
Honestly, I love Misty Step.
Misty Step's good. I mean, you don't want like the full teleport to like draw the circle and go somewhere distant. You just want to like skip ahead 60 feet.
No, I just want to be slightly removed from a situation.
I get that.
Like in Baldur's Gate, spamming Misty Step. I wish I built characters that had Misty Step.
Yeah. See, I was the opposite, where I just built like a high strength characters just so I could jump.
Oh, do the extreme jumping.
Jumping.
I love like a short form teleportation, just to be fun. Like, I gotta get somewhere slightly faster.
More, you're more Nightcrawler and less Lila Cheney.
Yes.
Do we all know Lila Cheney? That's a deep cut.
Dick Cheney's daughter.
Dick Cheney's daughter. No, look up Lila Cheney. She's an intergalactic pop star from the X-Men universe whose mutant power is to teleport to a Dyson sphere at the edge of the universe. That's it. And she always has to teleport there, but then she can teleport anywhere else so that she's been to before. She once dated Cannonball from the New Mutants. That's my extent of X-Men knowledge for Lila Cheney.
That was pretty thorough.
Yeah. She's cool. Look her up. She should come back. But yeah, teleportation's fun. I would just want to get out of the subway faster, I think.
Misty Step out.
Misty Step out. Great drag name.
Misty Step.
Misty Step. Do you have, so you do a lot of nightlife photography. Do you do any other photography gigs that you're very passionate about, the surrounding entertainment?
Yeah, anything in theater. My background is in theater. Like I went to a performing arts high school that was very much like Fame.
Yeah.
Like rehearsing in the hallways.
No way.
There were dancers, musicians, vocalists, visual artists.
What did you study?
Acting.
Acting
and playwriting. I went to an acting high school. I would act in college as well. Got my weaponized my BFA in acting. Worked in theater my entire adult life until the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And now I'm trying to do more theater photography.
So for those of you who don't know, I think was chess the most recent one?
Yes.
Yes. We're now explain to the goblins your connection with chess for those.
Yes, the revival of Chess the musical currently on Broadway with Leah Michele. I was hired to do behind the scenes photography of their big like promotional key art photo shoot a year ago, last April.
Yeah.
And they ended up using a number of my photos. They licensed them to supplement the key art. So it was on the theater, it was on mailers, it was on all over the place.
And was that the first time something that big had happened with your work?
It was actually the second time.
Oh, really?
In close proximity. A few months before that, I was hired to do more BTS photography for a music video for the Last 5 Years revival with Nick Jonas. They were at Jane's Carousel in Brooklyn,
which is now coming back again. The last 5 years.
So they had me do BTS this music video, and then the producers liked my photos, and they were using them. They were on the theater outside, like on the theater doors. You had to walk through my photos of Nick Jonas.
That's crazy.
They were on some merch. They were on like advertisements and stuff. And
how does that feel when you see it? That
was wild, because I didn't even in my like most wild fantasizing of what this job was going to be, I never thought that was a possibility.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. I'm taking photos of Adrian Warren and Nick Jonas. What a cool thing for my portfolio. And then several months later, the people who hired me texted me saying the producers want to use your photos for like marketing purposes on the theater. And it was mind blowing.
Especially coming from a performing arts background. It's like, you know, Broadway itself is a beast in and of itself, especially New Yorkers. It takes up a good chunk of the city. Mm-hmm. So to see that blasted on, like portrayed on the side of a building, it's probably very nice feeling.
It was wild. Like it's weird to say, like, even though I wanted to be a theater photographer, I never thought about my photos like on the theater. And like I just never thought about it.
Yeah, because they're there and you walk past it when you're in the area, but someone has to take
and then
those
like
photos.
when the photos went up, like me and my best friend Sam went down to the theater and like I got to like see it, and it just was like, oh wow, like that's my work that people have to see and engage with to enter the building.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is there a Broadway show or any show in general that you want to, if it's even either on Broadway right now or has been revived or is yet to be revived, what would you want to be the key photographer for?
Oh God, something gay. I don't know. I just love photography.
Yeah.
Like I am happy. I'm always happy when I'm working. And like, if I'm involved in something, I just am happy to be there. Like I don't, it's like, yes, I have people I would love to photograph someday, but I just, every day I feel like I'm pulling one over on everybody that I get to do this job.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah. So like every time I'm hired for something, I'm like, oh God, they're
going to find out I don't know how to use a camera.
they're going to find out that I don't know anything. But then they like my work and I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the other part of this process is just, I was talking to producer Nathaniel about this, is when I was starting Goblin Guys, I realized early on when you are doing your own thing, you're building something for yourself, you have to believe that your shit smells the best, that you are the one who champions yourself constantly.
Yeah, which I'm so bad
Me too.
at.
Me too.
Like the imposter syndrome is real, especially for something like this or photography. Like for me, it's self-taught. Like I didn't have authority figures telling me I was good and being like, you're doing it right. I was like, I'm figuring this out on my own based on a YouTube video. Yeah. Maybe it works.
There's a lot of YouTube videos that I've been watching where and it's still that I'm not figuring out because I'm just like, slow down, wait. The worst YouTube tutorials, I'll just have to say, are knitting tutorials because some 75-year-old woman who is an expert knitter will just
can't make a video.
I can't follow her because she's going so fast.
I actually don't love instructional videos. I would much rather prefer written instructions.
Yes, that.
And then like a visual component I can refer to. Then I don't want to watch some guy talk at me for 15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, he's got great ad revenue because people keep going to it. I think one of I think I read somewhere online that there's one guy who's made the most money on the how to tie a tie instructional video. Oh. Because it's like at the top of the search where every man forgets how to do it for his wedding day. It's the first thing and it's got like over 16 million views or something like that. And he just keeps getting that money. And I'm like, damn.
I mean, that's like having the market cornered on something that everyone needs to look at some point. That's wild.
So just think about what you could be an instructional.
Tying your shoes?
Tie your shoes. Maybe it's a Shibari rope tying, but PG friendly for the family. We're going to have you roll this again.
Oh, great.
12.
Low teens.
What is your alignment on a good day versus a bad day?
I feel like I'm always in like a lawful neutral place.
I see that for you.
Yeah.
It's just, trying not to rock the boat, keep everything steady.
I'm probably skewing more toward the good side of things. But I'm like sort of inherently a rule follower.
It's tough because I think that's, at least for queer millennials, I think that we have to stay within this prescribed good boy phase.
Yes.
And then we know a lot of boys that kind of go the extreme route because they adhere to that for so much. But I can say that I'm pretty much the same.
Yeah. And when I say rule following, I don't necessarily mean like the laws of the state, which is not implicating me in anything, but I mean like in like it's sort of like a framework of morality and etiquette and being like I have to like do the right thing always, and that's just sort of how I've lived. It's been a thing I've struggled with, particularly in the last few years, where I'm like, oh, I feel like the expectation on myself I put on myself is always to be the good boy and do the right thing. And it's exhausting.
So with that being said, with games like Baldur's Gate or Knights of the Old Republic or similar like games that have a morality system, are you like me where you find it hard to be the chaotic evil side of things?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why. Yes. I have the freedom. There's no consequence to it.
Have you heard of like this, like, it's like, what's it called? It's like sort of like it's the shopping cart like test of morality
when you bring the shopping cart
back. Because like it's a victimless, meaningless thing where if you don't do it, no one gets hurt, but doing it is beneficial for everybody.
But see, I like to be the guy that brings the cart back and make eye contact. Like I'll take someone who left it there, they're still in the parking lot, and I'll make eye contact.
I'll complain the entire time, but I'll still do it. Yeah, but even like in video games, I think we talked about this on our secret coffee meeting.
Yes.
It's like when I'm replaying a game like Mass Effect or other games that put a big emphasis on choice, I'm always picking the same choices no matter how many times I replay it. And it's always going to be like the greater good and the moral choice, helping the most people. It's hard for me to be bad even in a situation where there are no consequences.
Because I can understand the difficulty of being chaotic at a shared table like D&D because you don't want to make anyone else's experience. I've had those players that I've played with where it's just like, oh, you don't understand what's going on here. It's your way or the highway. But with games like KOTOR or Baldur's Gate or whatever, it's just like
it's just you.
It's just you, and I'm like, I really struggle. I'm like, these are just fictional characters, but like, I don't want to make Karlach mad.
Yeah,
she's my girl.
Well, and the example for me was when Mass Effect 3 came out in 2012. And I was playing it through for the first time. I thought I had done everything correctly in order to broker the peace between the Geth and the Quarians. I was like, oh, great. Tali and Legion and everyone else is going to be great. I am solving this crisis. And I did not. And if you make the wrong choice, Tali commits suicide in front of you.
That was a big decision for her to make. That was a lot
wild,
for her.
A lot of guilt. And of course, like the game doesn't give you like, explain your actions. It was like, nope, she's dead now. And I just was traumatized by that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, I can never have a fictional character under my watch die ever again.
Hard reset, go back. No, the thing I do have a problem with Mass Effect, and we've chatted about this, is when you get to the end, like all the choices you made in the last two games.
Oh, they just boil down to like multiple choice.
Multiple choice, and it doesn't really matter. And I'm like, if you're going to make me make these moral decisions, I want them to have consequence.
Oh, totally.
And I remember doing this with Dragon Age, where I didn't get a transfer from like system to system, so that I remember it was so nerve-wracking because I had to sign up for like an EA account or something like that. Oh God,
yeah.
And to make sure that because they knew that people were going to miss out between, I think it was like PS3 and PS4 or something like that.
Oh, so they invented like that website that you could
exactly,
yeah.
And you had to go on and they gave you all the choices that your
character
made.
Clicked.
And I was like, ooh, this is a chance for me to make the right choice. But then I looked through, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of like just tough choices to make.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me try and make the most moral things. And I'm like, just as long as Morgan is fine and that one.
And then
guy
it just
is
ultimately
dead.
Ends up being like, who gives you what quest?
Exactly. Which is just, once you understand how video games are made, you realize like, oh,
there's no other way.
There's no other way.
So, but unlike a reactive tabletop game where it's like you killed that NPC, so that storyline is just gone now.
Yeah. Is there a favorite NPC that you've had so far in what you've been playing that you want to morally corrupt?
In our campaign?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait, I want to morally corrupt somebody? What was the question?
Maybe not morally corrupt. Is there an NPC that you like?
I mean, we love Elowen Nocturne. Even though she's a legacy NPC.
She may be coming back. You never know.
Great. We always glommed onto Elowen really quick. She's like this fabulous shut-in lady. So
we love a Grey Gardens reference.
A magical Grey Gardens moment.
Magical Grey Gardens. If you were a big Edie or a little Edie, which one would you be? Middle Edie, the Drew Barrymore.
I guess Big Edie because I like corn.
That's our clip. Whatever happened to that corn kid? Remember that?
Oh, he probably grew up and wasn't cute anymore.
Yeah, maybe we'll find him someday.
He was at that age where like in 2 years I could see it going either way and he would become an awkward tween.
It like passed the threshold for into the straight community where my mother-in-law was sending me the memes. I'm like, you don't even know what a meme is, and how are you sending this to me? I'm like, okay, well, at least I know what to get you for Christmas. Some corn. So before we sign off, is there a game that you are looking forward to in the future that is
coming out?
Yeah.
I've been so busy. I've been falling off of gaming. Oh no, but I was just reading reviews of this new game called Mouse PI for Hire.
Yes, I saw that. It's
which is like
really
this
pretty.
new first person noir shooter that's done in the style of like 1930s animation, and it looks fucking great.
Yeah.
And it's been getting stellar reviews.
I'm wanting to get into like more couch co-op stuff. My husband doesn't play games as much, but I'm looking into games that are like group indie games. So if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them, because I need to find some players. But that mouse one sounds really pretty. I really like a stylized game.
Yes, I love anything with a distinct point of view.
Yeah.
You know?
So one final question. What is the worst thing I did to your character this campaign so far?
I think the opening. So, because cameras weren't rolling then, so it didn't count.
No.
But the very first session, 10 was still in the City Watch. That's where he originated for in the campaign, and was one of the guards at this big ceremony, and was possessed, ? By some still unexplained force.
Gotta figure that out. No, I know what it is.
I assumed you did. Was possessed by an unexplained force, and he attempted to kill multiple people. And this happened like within the first maybe half hour of that session.
Yeah.
Maybe even less. So it was a major curveball right out the gate.
Love that. I'm glad I gave you a curveball, but
yeah,
we've fixed it mostly.
Oh, no, it was great. No, it was great. It was a great way to be like, the stakes are here, and it kept me on my toes and be like, oh, I need to recalibrate what I thought this was going to be. And I think that was like for 10 at least, like the most shocking swerve right out the gate.
Well, I hope to swerve on you some more in the coming sessions.
Swerve anytime.
Thank you, Austin. Where can people find you on the internet?
Instagram at Austin Your Face.
That is a lovely name. We can't wait to follow Austin because he's a great photographer. Hire him for all of your Broadway and non-Broadway needs, or nightlife photography,
or anything really.
Just give queer people money, especially our queer people,
especially this queer person,
especially that queer
it's
person.
Tax season.
Don't remind me. So thank you again for joining us. This is Tavern Talk. My name is Mike, and next time we will be here with someone else. Bye.